Welcome, everybody, to the league. It is week 7. And I don't know if you noticed, I've updated a couple of the logos in the intro. And one team got a new logo. I've updated 3 of them. 2 of them are obvious. If you can find the other one, I'll give you, I don't know, 10 free agent dollary dues. Why not? But let's get into week 7. Well, let's cap off week 6. Voyagers took down the Quailmen in a very, very close. Let me grab this fucker. In a very, very close matchup, 109 to 105. And big time game from Achan. Big game from Bijan, but was not enough for the Quailmen to overtake the Voyagers. And that was big for both teams. Deebo Samuel did go down with an injury in that one, and Cam Little had a bad day for the Voyagers, and they released his ass. Oh shit, it's starting to rain. Hold up, I got laundry going. Hold on. Okay, Jesus Christ. The rain can come out of nowhere here, man. It's like, like cartoons, like a little cloud. That's what it is here. It's worse than Florida. It's fucking nuts. Anyways, yeah, the Voyagers released Cam Little, and they picked up their old kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn, thinking he's going to bring a little bit more luck to them going forward. Cam Little did look fantastic in the preseason, kicking that 70 fucking yarder, and he's looked okay the first couple of weeks, but it's kind of died down lately, so they released his ass. So Voyagers keep on winning there. The Cartel got their first win of the year over the Tiananmen Square Tanks, who now the Tanks are the only winless team in the league. And Cartel put up 130 in the process and looking pretty damn solid. They got some damn good games out of Rico Dowdle, Jameson Williams, Aaron Rodgers did okay. And even, was it Kamani Vidal had I would say a breakout game, and I think was his first start. So he looked fantastic out there for the Chargers, and their defense played fairly well. So the Cartel putting up 130 to get a win. Can they keep it going? Maybe. The Rune Dogs took down the Finesse. Rune Dogs back to 500 at 3-3, and the Finesse are they're just collapsing. It looks like they had a decent game, 130 points, but still couldn't bring home the bag. Even guys like Mahomes and Jacobs putting up 30 points just couldn't do it for them. Their defense played okay. I mean, this team just needs a kick in the ass, but it might be too little too late, even if they start winning. All of them ride on this next game, because if you lose 6, that's pretty much the end of the line for you in the league. The Cavaliers took down the Tiger Sharks in a very, very not close matchup, but a very important one. Jackson Dart still doing it for the Cavs. He's played 3 solid-looking games here as starter, and it looks like he's not going to look back. Not saying he's going to be a world beater, but he looks pretty damn good right now, and he's just a rookie. So they're going to keep it going. Baker didn't have the best of days. He might have an even worse week with all of the entire Buccaneer receiving core is dead. And the Tiger Sharks, their entire team looks very, very hurt right now, but they're still 4-2, and they're still looking pretty solid. They got a big-time matchup this week as well. We'll get into that a little bit later. The Mothmen took down the Heaters in the Brother Bowl by 25 points. Heaters still 130 points, still wasn't enough to take down the Mothmen. Mothmen looking very, very scary. Right now, JSN, Tet, and Jaden Daniels are just a 3-piece combo there, and Goddard finally woke up. And Mothmen looking like the Mothmen, well, quasi-Mothmen of old. Not the Smeagol's anymore, but looking pretty damn solid up there in the Midlands. And the Trolls were able to take down the reigning, defending, and at the time, undefeated Columbia Dumpster Fire by 5 points. Fantastic game. um, out there. And, man, Jonathan Taylor Thomas having a fantastic year right now. And Dumpster Fire, again, 137 points. You expect to win, and normally you do. If you put up 135 points, you're usually going to win. But his receivers did not do him any favors this week, only putting up, 7 points. So even with Jamar Chase having a big damn game last week, and all of his guys putting up very solid numbers except for his receivers. Any of his receivers catch anything more, they probably win this game, but they didn't. Trolls avenged the loss to the Voyagers and took down the Dumpster Fire. So now there's just this, this traffic jam here at the top of the standings. 3 5-1 teams, and then you have the Mothmen also sitting there at 5-1 in the East. And right now it looks like the East is definitely the strongest out of the 3 divisions. Early in the season, it looked like the West, through week 2, but that's obviously changed. The South is still the South. It's usually a two-horse race over there, and the Heaters are having a tough time. Quailmen are still hanging on. They're going to have an uphill battle the rest of the year, and the Rune Dogs may be getting back to form. They've got a lot of their guys on buys last week and this week. But if they can keep it up, man, it's going to be tough out there in the East. Let's get into the power rankings. Coming in at number 12, you got the Tiananmen Square Tanks. Yeah, they're just bad. This team is just bad. But, again, we've said it a million times. Maybe in a couple of years, they might be able to, get the playoffs. Hell, they might be able to sniff the playoffs next year. They got a fuckload of picks. But we'll see what's going to come out of them. Coming in at number 11, you got the Cartel picking up the first win. Woo! But that's about it. Not much sunshine down there in South Florida. Not many roses to smell. But, hey, at least, you got Cuban sandwiches. That's pretty cool, man. Coming in at number 10, you got the Hickory Grove Heaters. This team is just weird. This team should be good. On paper, the team looks solid, but they just can't put shit together, and it looks worse this week. We'll see. We'll get into that. Coming in at number 9, you got the LA Finesse. Talk about a team that's collapsing right in front of our eyes. Yeah, they are playing the Cartel this week, so it should be an easy game. But, hey, the Finesse have lost to worse, so we'll see what's going to go on there. We'll get into that a little bit later. Coming in at number 8, you got the French Quarter Quailmen. Took a loss last week to the Voyagers. Tough loss. And now they got the Cavaliers this week. That one should be a close matchup just based on what Vegas has got going. Quailmen need to win that game to stay alive, stay afloat in the South. And this team is known to kind of just fizzle around. But they're like the old school Raiders where they just kind of suck ass, but they just beat people that they shouldn't at times, and then lose to people that they shouldn't at times. So I don't know. The Quailmen got to step it up. We'll see. Coming in at number 7, coming up a spot, you got the Long Island Rune Dogs. Very, very much needed win last week. They have the Tanks this week, so even with their team kind of getting their footing back under them, now they've got basically a cupcake game against the Tanks, who again haven't won a game. They definitely need this tune-up game to prepare for the latter half of this season. And the Rune Dogs are not dead yet, sitting at 500. So, hey, it's a new season from now. Coming in at number 6, dropping down a spot. And you'll see why. You got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. Last week did take a tough loss to the Cavs. They got so many injuries and guys out, but it looks like they're going to get Mike Evans back and DeAndre Swift maybe, but Godwin's still out, and Njoku is now out at their tight end spot, so they're going to have to play Kyle Pitts, which isn't a bad thing, but Pitts hasn't had the best year, which is fucking normal for him, I guess. I don't know what the deal is this guy should be putting up insane numbers, but he just doesn't. He's only had 1 touchdown in the year, which is from his only good week. But the Tiger Sharks, excuse me, they are 4-2, so they're not to be trifled with too much. This is still a very, very solid squad, even with the loss last week. They look to continue that this week in a very, very big matchup. Coming in at number 5, dropping down a spot, you got the Cameron Cavaliers. They picked up the win last week over the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, and they're going to try to continue that this week against the Quailmen. Again, like I said, it's going to be a close matchup over there, but Cavs are pretty solid. They don't really have too many injuries. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is still out, and Christian Kirk is still out, but Christian Kirk has kind of been ass this year anyways. But Darnell Mooney's popping up on the injury report. Well, oh God, he's had a trash year too. I thought he was doing pretty well. Ooh. So, still left over from Tebow's squad. And, yeah, so Cavs ain't missing too many guys. Even their guys that are hurt are pretty ass, so not too bad. Looking pretty solid there in the number 5 spot. Dropping down a spot, even after a win. Coming in at number 4, you got the Vietnam Voyagers. Again, barely won. Barely beat the Quailmen last week in a pretty low-scoring affair, and now they've got an even tougher matchup in the Tiger Sharks this week, and they have to go out to Tampa to play that game, so it's going to be very, very tough for them. I got to catch my flight here in about an hour to get out there to coach these fuckers. Should be a good one. We'll get into that later when we do the matchups, but it's going to be tough for them. I moved them down a spot because the team that moved up the most is looking, again, like I said, scary. Coming in at number 3, you got the Midlands Mothmen. I was doubting this team. I was doubting them all year, and I can't really doubt them anymore. They're 5-1, and they've scored what, the 3rd most points in the league. Fucking sick. 3rd most points in the league, and it's not like people haven't been scoring on them either. They've allowed a good amount of points, a healthy amount of points as well, to kind of bolster that 5-1 record, and they're the real deal, I think, and they're gonna have to, put that medal to the test this week against the Charleston Trolls, which will be a fantastic matchup. But Mothmen looking solid, looking very solid. Dropping down a spot to number 2, you got the Columbia Dumpster Fire. Yeah, I mean, they took a loss to the Trolls last week, and yes, it was close, but hey, now they're all 5-1, and yeah, the Dumpster Fire have scored 50 more points on the year compared to the Trolls, but hey, you just lost. I gotta drop you, man. I gotta drop you. Coming in at number 1, coming up a spot, you got the Charleston Trolls. This team is in the thick of things right now. I mean, they've scored the second most amount of points in the league. Have only taken 1 loss on the year, and that was to the Voyagers. They just beat the reigning champs, and now they got another big matchup again against the Mothmen. And if they can do that, if they can take down the Mothmen, this team will be securely in the number 1 spot going forward for sure. Let's get into the matchups. Matchup number 1, you got the 4-2 Cameron Cavaliers at the 2-4 French Quarter Quailmen. Right now, the Cavs are up 9-8 early in the second quarter. Vegas has got the Quailmen by 2. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I think, honestly, lazily, I'm going to say it's going to come down to the quarterbacks. I mean, Jackson Dart's playing Denver in Denver. It's going to be very tough against that defense. And then you got Justin Herbert for the Quailmen, which Justin Herbert's been playing very, very solid this year, but not world-beating. He needs a big-time matchup, and the Colts, who he's playing, is the perfect team to do it. So I can see why Vegas has this upset going on. But the Cavs are very, very tough, and they've shown that they can do it, but they got to go down to New Orleans and do it. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Close matchup Put it on right now. Matchup number 2, you got the 5-1 Columbia Dumpster Fire at the 1-5 Hickory Grove Heaters. And right now it's 30-11, and Ja'Marr Chase put up 30, 16 catches, 161 yards, and a touchdown. Fucking insane. That's twice now we scored 30 points on the year, by the way. And out of all of his games, out of the 7 games he's played, in 4 of them he scored 20 or more, and those other 3 he scored 7.5 or less. So he is definitely boom or bust. Big boom, shitty bust. But it looks like on the games that he booms, he really blows the hell up. So this is the guy, even if he's a boom or bust guy, you still start him, obviously. It's fucking Ja'Marr Chase. But yeah, this game's 30-11, and it looks like it's just gonna get even worse. Vegas has the Dumpster Fire by 55. 55. This is gonna be a bloodbath out there in Hickory Grove. And the Heaters, they literally have to win to stay alive, and this might be Hunter's way. Coach Hunter taking Old Yeller out back and just putting him the fuck down. We'll see. Matchup number 3, you got the 1-5 Finesse at the 1-5 Miami Cartel. Ugh. Vegas has the Finesse winning this game by 2 touchdowns. However, the Cartel have jumped out to a 41-0 lead, like the Giants and Vikings game a long time ago. 41-0. And the Cartel, again, they're gonna need that this week. They got that out of 2 players, so they're gonna need another big week, just like they did last week. Maybe they got the confidence in them from picking up their first win, and maybe they can beat the Tanks. Maybe they can beat the Finesse. If the Cartel get to 2 wins before the Finesse, shit's got to change out there in LA. And whoever wins this matchup, nothing really changes. Whoever loses this matchup, nothing really changes. You don't got to tune into this crap. Matchup number 4, you got the winless 0-6 Tiananmen Square Tanks at the 3-3 rejuvenated Long Island Rune Dogs. This game has not kicked off yet. It'll kick off at 9:30 Eastern time. It's about 3 hours from recording this. Vegas has got the Rune Dogs winning this one by about 3 touchdowns, which is sure. That's about normal. Again, the Tanks aren't going to make the playoffs this year. They've just got to evaluate their guys and see what they've got. Right now, they've got Calvin Austin in at flex, and he's not going to play this week, so they need to plug in anybody else, really, that could possibly do something in that flex spot. But yeah, Rune Dogs should take this one handily, unless something fucking crazy happens. Let's get into the rivalry game of the week. You got the 5-1 Vietnam Voyagers at the 4-2 Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. This game also has not kicked off yet. It will kick off at 9:30 Eastern down there in Tampa. Vegas has got the Tiger Sharks winning this one by 2 touchdowns at home. A very, very healthy guess there from Vegas to put the Tiger Sharks ahead by that much. But the Vikings players for the Voyagers are, bunching them up like that against a tough Eagles team might be a little weird. But the Voyagers are missing Bucky Irving, and they're also missing Puka Nacua this week. So 2 of their top guys are out. And but the Tiger Sharks are like, hey man, we're fucking injured too. They don't have Godwin, they don't have Njoku, and Evans is questionable. And is he gonna play? Game time decision. Who knows if he's gonna play? The Buccaneers still have a couple of weeks until their bye, so I don't know. But they may try to force feed Mike Evans the fucking ball because, for one, he's going to be the only damn dude out there playing. And they want to get him another 1,000-yard season, but it might be too little too late for that. It should be a good matchup, but don't be surprised for the tiny upset if the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks do take this one and beat the Voyagers at home. The game of the week, though, is the big one. You got the 5-1 Charleston Trolls at the 5-1 Midlands Mothmen. Right now, the Trolls jumped out to a 21-0 lead. Don't get skunked, P-Man. 21-0 lead. And Vegas has got the Mothmen still winning this by 2 points. So this is going to be a fantastic matchup. I mean, Daniels versus Dak, Gibbs versus Taylor. I mean, you got JSN versus T. Higgins. Higgins already put up almost 19 points. Fantastic. And Waddle is finally starting to come back alive for the Mothmen. And I don't know. I got a funny feeling about this matchup. I think it's going to be very, very high scoring. I think it's going to be above. It says 138 to 136. I think it's going to be in the 140s, maybe 150s for this one. I just got a weird feeling it's going to be a very, very high scoring matchup out there in the Midlands. And the Mothmen take this one. Look the fuck out. And even the dumpster fire are going to be looking over their shoulders a little bit. And hell, they may be looking up should the dumpster fire somehow lose this week, which is very possible. This is a very, very big time matchup. The Trolls, I would say, can't afford to lose, even though they're in the number one spot with the Tiger Sharks nipping at their heels. And even though the Mothmen are in second place, they still have a 2-game lead on the Rune Dogs. So I think the Mothmen are in a very good spot here. They can play loose. They can play, without too much worry, because even if they lose, they're still ahead by at least a game over the Rune Dogs. And the Dumpster Fire it's one of those teams where you kind of just expect not to beat them or to be better than them in the standings. But all this team needs to do is get into the playoffs, and they're going to be very, very scary. Let's get into the predictions. Chunks made the picks this week. Last week, Dan made the picks, went 2-4. Pretty shitty. So Rico still holds the best record in the league right now at 5-1, and only fucking 2 of us have gone better than 500 when picking games this year. And so we're looking pretty rough. I don't know if we're going to beat that 65% like we did last year, unless we get a couple of 6-0s, perfect rounds out of these guys. But Chunks made the picks this week. He's got the Cameron Cavaliers over the Quailmen, of course. He's got the Dumpster Fire over the Heaters in a rivalry game. He's got the Finesse over the Cartel, of course. He's got the Rune Dogs over the Tanks, of course. He's got the Tiger Sharks over the Voyagers in the rivalry game of the week. Again, not really an upset, quasi-upset. I would say probably not. Tiger Sharks are for real as well. And he's got the Trolls over the Mothmen in the game of the week. Pretty solid picks here, but a lot of them, like the Quailmen game, the Voyagers game, and the Mothmen, all those picks could easily be reversed. So this could be 3-3, could be 6-0. Who knows? But thank you, Chunks, for the picks. Graydon's got next week. All right, let's get into golf. Where's my golf? This week fuck me, where's this thing? This week in golf, P-Man had the best day. Shot 3 birdies on the day. Sam shot 3 birdies on the day. And Graydon shot 2 birdies on the day. None of them had bogeys. Mandy had a couple bogeys. Chunks had a couple bogeys. And Rybo had another couple bogeys. So Rybo is separating himself as the worst, and Graydon is extending his lead at the top with Chunks dropping down a couple, and then Graydon going up a couple, and then P-Man sneaking up in there into second place now. And it's looking very, very... It's still a tight race. It's still only 8 strokes between fucking 6th and 1st. And hell, Rico's only 9 back. And Sam is right there at only 1 over par. So good shit, Sam. Gonna need them to keep doing well. But right now, Graydon is in the driver's seat for golf. And yeah, that's really about it, guys. I'm gonna hop on out of here. Game's in 3 hours from recording this, or probably, I don't know, 2.5 hours from when I release this. But yeah, good luck. And I really need like a sign-off phrase, huh? I don't really have one. Nah, whatever. Okay, bye.